You're watching the Red Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Commit to being the more physical football team. Commit to being the team that executes at the highest level for a long duration, for whatever it takes.
Straight ahead in the Red Zone, an opportunity lost in Fort Collins. We recap a Rams game where the offenses butted heads, leaving the defenses scratching them. Head coach Tony Sanchez is in studio to break it all down. Plus, we preview the final home game of the season as San Diego State comes in for a big game at Sam Boyd Stadium. And we look back at the Runnin' Rebels season opener on Friday night. What went right and what went wrong. Highlights and post-game reaction. With the Red Zone, it's always clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Right now.
This is the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Good evening. Welcome inside the Red Zone. Thanks for joining us. Kevin Bollier alongside UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez coming back from Fort Collins. And I know this was a game that you thought that you would have a good shot at winning. You were in it for the whole game, just couldn't close the deal.
Yeah, I mean, really, every one of these conference games we thought we had a chance to win. I mean, it's we're not that far away, and I think you continue to see that. We just, again, run out of a little bit of gas. I thought we did enough offensively to win, and defensively didn't hold up real well, gave up way too many yards, especially rushing.
Well, lots to talk about with this one. We're going to get right to it, starting with the first half where things were wild from the very beginning.
Be fanatical in the pursuit of victory today. You got that?
Finish on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. At the end of the day, play for your brother, okay? Play for New, play for Restraint, okay? They got a couple more games here to go. Let's finish this thing out right for them. Play for each other. Here we go, man. Here we go. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
You guys are more prepared. We're way past this time. Senior step up, lead. Everybody else follow. Push to the top. You got that?
UNLV received the opening kickoff, but in a rarity this season, the drive never got going, and they were forced to punt. Colorado State's first play from scrimmage, Nick Stevens goes over the middle to Stephen Walker, and he has a lot of room all the way down to the Rebel 11. 2 plays later, Stevens hits Rashard Higgins for the score, and it was quickly 7-0 Rams. UNLV went right to work. Blake Decker to Devontae Boyd to move into CSU territory. On 3rd and 18, the swing pass to Keith Whiteley. He gets a block to free him up, and he goes all the way down to the 5. The refs don't bother to call the late hit. They actually call Whiteley for a face mask, and UNLV had it first down at the 25. Decker finds Kendall Keys in the back of the end zone. The Rebels were on the board. We were tied at 7. CSU had a 3rd and 16 at their own 48, and they went for it all, but Tim Huff is there for the interception, and he returned it out to the 35. The draw play to Lexington Thomas, and he scampers for 29 to the Ram 32. Then Thomas with the run and the spin move for 13 more. Decker goes to Keys again, back of the end zone again, touchdown again. UNLV up 14-7 with 3:19 left in the first. The Rebels had a hard time stopping the run all night, and the Rams went all rushing plays in the next series, and they went right down the field. Jason Oden capped the drive, going right up the middle for a 17-yard score. At the end of the first, it was 14-14, and this had the makings of a good old-fashioned shootout. Decker moved the Rebels right into scoring position again. But on 3rd and 7 at the 31, he's hit and fumbles. Chris Lopez recovers for UNLV at the 33. Nico Bornag comes out for a 50-yard field goal attempt, and it's blocked to give the Rams the ball back. On 3rd and 2, play action. Stevens goes downfield to Higgins for the catch at the 5. The replay would uphold the call, although it was close to being a bobbled ball hitting the ground. 3rd and 3 at the 3. The flip out to Dalen Dawkins, and he strolls in for 6. It was a 10-point swing, and CSU was on top. The red-hot Rebel offense kept rolling. Decker to Boyd for 34 yards to the 41. On 4th and 2 at the 33, Jake Phillips gets the grab for 17 yards. 2 plays later, the play blows up. Decker gets crushed, and he would have to leave the game with a right leg injury. Kurt Palandek would come in his place, and on the very first play, he goes up the middle, and he's into the end zone to tie things up at 21. Colorado State struck once more just before the half. Nouvel Faapito pounded it into the Rebels, went into the locker room at halftime, down 28-21.
So initially, Decker wasn't putting any pressure on his right leg. When he came out for the second half on crutches, he was able to put some pressure. What do we know about his injury and his availability next week?
Well, the X-rays were negative, so obviously there's nothing broken. He'll do an MRI, but he was able to push off it, a little bit in the locker room, and he was able to walk around on his own power afterwards. He had the crutches just for some support. So we'll see. We got to evaluate on Monday and see where we're at.
The offense was clicking, and you were getting some balance with some run pass in the first half, and that opens a lot of things up.
Yeah, it really does. We've continued to progress offensively from week one to where we're at now and doing a really good job. So had some explosive plays, ran the ball well. Lexington Thomas, had a big night. Whiteley had that big screen that was a good deal. But yeah, put 21 points up on the board and moved the ball effectively. Had the miscue with the field goal. But other than that, I thought the offense was kind of firing away.
The defense struggled against the run. Is it a point now where the depth is becoming a major factor this late in the season?
Well, it's just, depth is part of it, and then another part of it, too, is you just got to be committed to the physicality of the game, you coming downhill and making tackles in open space, and we did a poor job of tackling last night. We had guys who had run fits, and when you get into that fit, you've got to execute and you got to make that tackle. So we just got to continue to work on it.
Well, let's go to the second half now, where this game hinged on defensive stops and maintaining the offensive production.
Colorado State had the ball to open the second half and went down the field in just over 3.5 minutes. The drive capped by Stevens with all kinds of time, finding Higgins for an 8-yard touchdown pass as CSU opened the first two-score lead of the game at 35-21. After both teams traded punts, UNLV started a drive at their own 9, and Palandek got things rolling. On 3rd and 10, Keys makes a great tiptoe catch for a first down to keep the series alive. Then Palandek to Keys again. Watch the great catch as he goes flat out for the grab and the 29-yard gain. The capper, why not, to Keys again in the end zone, his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, and UNLV was back within a touchdown at 35-28 with 2:21 left in the 3rd. Both teams would have empty possessions before Colorado State struck again, and it's Stevens to Higgins for a touchdown for the 3rd time as the Rams reopen a 2-score lead midway through the 4th. UNLV would have a chance to get back in it. On 4th and 15, Palandek hits Boyd, but he's stopped short of the first down with 5:41 left. CSU wrapped it up with a touchdown run with under 2 minutes to go. As we've seen all season, the Rebels just didn't quit. Thomas races 32 yards for a touchdown to get UNLV back on the board, and the Rebels recover the onside kick with 57 seconds left. On 4th down, the pass to Aaron Criswell that was a sure touchdown, but it goes right through his hands. One of several drops by UNLV receivers on the day. The Rebels fall in Fort Collins, 49-35.
We had the scheme and we had the right calls. We just didn't execute the way we needed to. We missed a lot of tackles and just the execution wasn't there.
You look back, it's always 1 or 2 plays, and those are things that are going to kind of haunt us in the offseason, but it's going to make us work harder and try to become a better team in the future.
I really thought stopping Colorado State on their first possession of the second half was key, knowing that you couldn't really fall behind 2 scores at this point of the game.
Yeah, again, you talk about that stuff in the locker room. Hey, it's a 7-point game. Let's get a stop. Let's get ourselves right back even. And again, it's one of those deals where we just kept, we couldn't ever break that 7-point mark in the second half. And but our guys battled. Again, they're in position to make plays. We just got to execute at a higher level. I think we had 8 drop balls, can't drop balls. We had 2 drop balls on big 3rd down situations. And again, as those guys will reiterate, they're in there to make the plays, and they're getting better, though. The effort's there. That's never been a question the entire year. We are executing at a higher level. We're doing things, that are allowing us to be deep into the 4th quarter. I think 8 of 10 games, a 7-point game, and we got to fix that. We just got to have a higher level of focus late in those games.
Kendall Keys had a breakout game with some great catches, but we were waiting for maybe another receiver to step up big, knowing that Devontae Boyd is going to get double covered a lot, and he seemed to be somebody who came through big yesterday.
He did. You know, I mean, lately, the last couple of games, you saw Chris kind of do some great things, and then seeing Keys, you know, make, you know, what do you have, 6 catches, 3 touchdowns. You know, he's a big target, strong guy, so it's good to see him get involved more.
You mentioned after the game that you thought that this team was tired. How do you adjust that here for the last 2 weeks to try and get them refreshed?
Well, we talked about that a little bit in meetings earlier today and stuff. Defensively, we looked tired, you know, not so much offensively, but defensively, we just, you know, again, we didn't tackle well, and some of that it looked a little lethargic at times. So we just got to talk about, you know, how long we're going to be on the field, how many reps we're actually going to take. You have to adjust that stuff as you go through the season. So, you know, obviously that's something that needs to be managed, and I don't know if our guys have competed this long, this hard, this late into the season for this many games. So it's taking its toll.
I know you said you don't reset goals, you just kind of cross them off if you can't attain them. The bowl eligibility is now crossed off, and that's a biggie, really. It is a biggie. I mean, again, you know, we revamped the goals when we got here, you know, and, you know, you take that one off. So that's going to put a little fire in the belly. We're going to finish strong. We're going to focus on San Diego State and go out and fight for a win, get another win at home for our seniors on senior night. And going into the offseason, let me tell you, there's going to be a lot of ornery people in the weight room and on the practice field and in the film room, and we're going to get there. Well, still plenty of season left for UNLV. This Saturday is the final home game of the season. It is a big one as a red-hot San Diego State team comes into Sam Boyd Stadium. We're previewing the Aztecs and discussing what the keys are to ending the home slate in style. Red Zone back in just 2 minutes.
You're watching the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
Next up for UNLV, the final home game of the season and a chance to knock off the leader in the West Division, San Diego State.
It's always a big deal when San Diego State and UNLV meet. While the more intense rivalry is in basketball, these two schools always have close ties, and this year is no different, as former UNLV head coach Bobby Hauck makes his return to Las Vegas as the Aztecs special teams coordinator. The offense is centered around Donnell Pumphrey. The Las Vegas native and Canyon Springs graduate is once again putting on a show in the Mountain West, third in the conference in rushing, and the player that seems to trigger Aztec success.
We think we have the best running back in the league. He's a special kid. I mean, he's got a lot of natural ability, but I'm talking about off the field. He's a special kid. He's a great kid, does things the right way, goes 100% all the time in practice and weight room.
Statistically, San Diego State's total offense is near the bottom of the Mountain West in production thanks to low numbers in the passing game. Defensively, though, the Aztecs are near the top, especially in rush defense. SDSU is in complete control of the West Division and is gearing up for the Mountain West Championship game. But don't anticipate this being an overlooked game. This should be a barn burner.
Obviously, you talk San Diego State, you talk Donnell Pumphrey. He's kind of the key that gets their offense revving.
No doubt about it. I mean, when you look at the beginning of the year, they started off a little bit more balanced, and you start looking at the run totals, they were in the 30 early. And then the last bunch of weeks, it's 40, it's 50, it's 60, it's 40. I mean, I think a perfect game for them is 50 rushes and 15 passes. So they want to be a physical team, and Pumphrey's the guy that makes that whole thing go. So we have to do a great job of containing him. I don't know if you stop that guy, but you'd need to slow him down. And obviously the way the ball was run against us this last week, I mean, that's something they're going to commit to. So we'll talk about it throughout the week. We'll prepare for it, and we'll be ready for it.
San Diego State's won 4 straight games by 23 points or more. They seem to have this thing rolling right now. So this is one of those you got to get a shot in the mouth early and then just try to keep up on top of them.
Well, you do. They're a good team, you know, and obviously they're fighting for a championship right now, and they're on a roll. I think the 6 wins in a row, so they're doing a great job. But you know, again, this is one of those games, just like every other game in our conference, where you know the opportunity's there. I mean, it's a winnable game. You just got to go out, you got to execute, you got to do some special things, you got to create turnovers, and you got to be able to run the ball against a team that doesn't give up many running yards.
It is senior night, and it's always important for fans to come out and support the seniors. And I know that this group of seniors kind of has a special place for you because they didn't give up with the transition, and they've come in and fought hard this year.
No doubt about it, man. I love these guys, and I've told them that. Their effort, their tenacity, their buy-in, it's been fantastic. And you know, they really have set the foundation for where this program is going to go into the future, and we'll never forget that. So we got to finish strong for them.
But we still have plenty ahead coming up here in the Red Zone. Next, we're going to switch some gears from the field to the court as the Runnin' Rebels season is officially underway. We have a look back at Friday night's win plus post-game reaction as the Red Zone rolls on.
This hair-raising play of the week is brought to you by Vegas Valley Hair.
The 5-84 connection was working early and often at Colorado State. Blake Decker to Kendall Keys for the touchdown, the first of his 3 touchdown catches on a big night for the sophomore. And that's our hair-raising play of the week.
You're watching the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
The Runnin' Rebels kicked off their season Friday night with a home game against Cal Poly, and this one went down to the final minute.
Opening night at the T&M filled with the excitement of a new season. Pat McCaw did not start because he was late for a meeting earlier this week. Ike Wamu got things going with the reverse lay-in for the early lead. Former Bishop Gorman star Ben Carter made his Runnin' Rebel debut when he hit his first shot, a 16-footer. Then the razzle-dazzle, McCaw with the alley-oop to Derek Jones. Dwayne Morgan gave UNLV a lift with some good spurts as he knocks down the jumper. Jones with the spin move for the hoop and the harm. But Cal Poly hung tough. Zach Morgan throws it down, and the Mustangs held a 40-37 lead at halftime. We saw something we didn't see a lot of last year. UNLV came out strong to open the second half, led by Steven Zimmerman. The finger roll and one to even things up. Jordan Corners continued the push to go to the basket as he drives in for the bucket. Then the bounce pass to Zim for the hoop and the harm. McCaw knocked down a triple to cap a 12-0 run to start the second half as UNLV built a 49-40 lead. The lead was actually built to 13, but with 6 minutes to go, Poly put on a charge to get right back in the game. This alley-oop to Joe Awich cut the lead to 3, and when Awich delivered a dunk with 2:20 to go, this game was tied up, and we were headed for a nail-biter. UNLV struggled hitting free throws, but they made just enough down the stretch, and the defense went into lockdown mode. The Rebels come away with a 74-72 win against a very good Cal Poly team, but they know that there's a lot to improve on.
I think a big thing was just for us to pick up our energy, and we had a couple questionable plays on offense and defense, and it was kind of like we need to get back into it and play together type thing. And, a couple little energy plays here and there really, brought us back.
We won that game with our toughness in the second half. It was the first time in 18 times out that we didn't have the lead at halftime, and I thought we came out the second half with tremendous energy. The group we had on the floor was fantastic. Got a defensive stop to start the half. Steven Zimmerman got the three-point play, and we just took off from there.
Got to get the defense moving a couple times, shifted a couple times before we take the first three, or maybe sometimes you're going to pull up and guys are going to let you shoot that three because they want you to shoot early in the shot clock. So we just got to get guys their thought process a little bit better, and we'll be okay.
We don't want to be judged solely on one game, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss. We want to be judged on how we respond to what happens, how we respond to success, how we respond to adversity.
UNLV plays home games Monday and Wednesday night against New Mexico Highlands and Southern Utah. One last break, then we're racked to wrap it up with the plays of the week. First, though, here's a look at how other Mountain West teams did over the weekend.
You're watching the Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show, presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.
All right, so we have the final home game of the season, 7:30 kickoff on Saturday night, and important with San Diego State coming in to get a big crowd out there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, again, it's our seniors' last game, at home. That's a big deal right there, and it's a game that is going to be an important game for many years to come, so we need everyone to come on out and support the Rebels.
All right, Rebellion, get out there. Show the show that you've got what it takes for football as well. Thank you for joining us inside the Red Zone. We're going to leave you with the UNLV football plays of the week. Good night.
Commit to being the team that executes at the highest level for a long duration.
I got got my fans in the stands, my team on my back, my family in my heart. I put my city on the map. See, I'm cool with my school, but I know I can do better. See, we all pay a price. I got some things on my mind, but I need to regain my focus, cause it's game time. Give all, leave nothing. In the end, I gotta choose. Clear eyes, full heart. I can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart. Can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart. Can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart. Can't lose. Clear eyes. Clear eyes, full heart. Can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart. Can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart. Can't lose. Clear eyes. Now look me in the eyes and put your hand in mine. Forever's about to happen right here in this moment of time. So let's draw a line right here in the sand, and let it be said that on this very day is the day that we took a stand. Cause not just a game, it's more than a game. It's more than the hurt, it's more than the pain. It's more than the glory, it's more than the fame. This right here is about legacy, man, so it's bigger than me, it's bigger than us. We can lose sight in the midst of the fuss. Let's slow it down and take it in. Enjoy this moment, what's the rush? They went back, but we wanted more. This is what we've been waiting for. With tears in our eyes, we let our hearts roar. Unleash war when we walk out this door. We won't be delayed, we won't be denied. In the end, we won't be refused with clear eyes, a full heart. There's no way that we can lose. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Clear eyes.
The Fox 5 Red Zone Sports Show was presented by RC Willey. Your home, your way.